Well, welcome to the Blues basketball media coverage for this SEABL Round 4 clash between the hometown Carrum Downs Laser Electrical Frankston Blues up against the visiting Canberra Capitals Academy. I'm Damien Arsenis from the pickandroll.com.au, the online destination for all things Aussie hoops. And it's been a difficult start for the season for the Blues. They enter tonight's game against the Capitals without a win, whereas on the other hand, the Capitals Academy, they've only played 2 games. One of those games they were supposed to play was cancelled due to a power outage against Ballarat. But they're coming in with a 1-1 record. So either way tonight, it's a must-win game, particularly for the Blues. But the Academy will be looking to come here for a win. But they will be minus Keely Froling, who's missing in action tonight. She's over in China playing for Australia at the FIBA 3-on-3 Asia Cup, representing her country. So it's going to be a difficult challenge for the Capitals Academy with the Blues. Everyone back in the lineup tonight, of course. They lost their Anzac Day clash against the visiting Dandenong Rangers in a very difficult matchup for the Blues because they were without their leading scorer, Stacey Barr, who was concussed in their loss against the Nunawading Spectres on Sunday. But she's back in the lineup tonight. So the Blues have a full team for the first time this season. And we're about to tip off Saturday night action here at Frankston Basketball Centre. So the starting lineup for Frankston is Perrett, Ivanov, Barr, Ross and Nankervis. And for Canberra, it's McCapian. Gaze, of course, she played here for Frankston previously. Cubulo, Montgomery and Jerich. And the tip is won by the Blues thanks to Ivanov. And Perrett immediately being aggressive. Guarded by the youngster Cubulo as we see some contact inside. And Takara Ross draws a foul. And it's Gaze picks up an early one. That'll be a great matchup. Of course, Kate Gaze coming off a great season in the WNBL. And here we go, Stacey Barr. Ross, mid-ranger is good. What a way for the Blues to start. Immediately into their full court pressure and they've thrown it away nearly. Great recovery by Abby Cubulo, of course, a gold medalist for Australia and as a Sapphire. Gaze matches Ross's opening bucket with one of her own. And it's 2-2 inside the first minute. Ivanov, runner, off mark, finished by Perrett, who flies through, no body on her. Gaze flicks it out wide. Tough drive. Jerridge unable to capitalise, and it's Barr leading the break. Swings it out to Perrett. Goes hard, draws a foul, and she's going to go to the line for 2. Well, a positive start by the Blues. Up 4-2 early with Perrett heading to the line. So I mentioned it just before the start of the game. The Capitals Academy are without Keely Froling tonight, their leading scorer, who's been delivering 23 points a game across their first 2 games. So they're going to have to find someone to pick up the slack as the Blues get a steal. Barr probing, gets baseline, loses the handle, and it's the Capitals Academy pushing the tempo, and they lose the handle. Now it's a free-for-all on the floor. And we got called for a held ball. The arrow is pointing Capitals Academy way. So Keely Froling's 23 points per game will be sorely missed. Kate Gaze, she's been averaging over 20 as well, 20.5 a game. Again, they've only played 2 games this season as we see the Blues in transition. Gets it inside to Nankervis. Little sky hook is off the mark. And the next best scorers for Capitals Academy is Cubulo with 9 a game. And Montgomery's 8.5. And then there's Daylight. So scoring will be a challenge for the Capitals Academy tonight. Long 2 is good. Barr can't believe there was no foul called. And it's going to be Blues ball. I believe McCapian was accredited with a 3-pointer earlier. Nankervis turns, dishes out. Ivanov for 3. Back of the iron. And a rebound by Montgomery. So Nankervis is going to have her hands full inside tonight. Backdoor cut. Off the mark. Cubulo couldn't finish in wide open, but you know what? Kate Gaze isn't going to miss many of those. She cleans up, and Capitals Academy open up a 3-point lead. Ivanov into Ross. Oh, Ross misses the easy. Gets it back and finishes. Ross has just been persistent. The Caps blocked by Nankervis. That was impressive. Montgomery going to work against Nankervis. Nice little turnaround. Early days, but Gaze leads all scorers with 4 for the Canberra Capitals Academy. Perrette probes, switches to her right, goes in. That was tough. So Cubulo. Errant pass. McCapian threw it too wide. Gaze wasn't able to haul it back in. So Hollingsworth. She'll inbound. Hollingsworth checking in for her first minutes. Ivanov, baseline. Can't finish. Probably should have made that, but she'll head to the line for 2. That first step got past. Makes the front end. Makes it both. And puts the Frankston in front by 1. Ross with a great defensive play. Putting pressures on the backcourt. Just get it over. And that's a sloppy foul, releases the pressure. Perrette really didn't need to foul in that situation. Hollingsworth challenges, comes up short. Gaze, mid-ranger. And the Blues are off and running through Ross. Hollingsworth. Into Nankervis against Montgomery. Running hook, that was way off. So, Gaze. Oh, pulls up off the step. And Hollingsworth just takes it down. If I can't have it, you can't either. So Jahaj hits the deck hard. So we see Ivanov step off and captain Sammy Simmons comes in. Barr back in as well. Perrette takes a seat. So we see Jahaj take a seat as well. I was going to say nearly instant offense with her replacement as Montgomery, well, couldn't finish her rebounding, second, third efforts. And that's going to be out on the Blues. So nothing separating either side, early days. 10-9 lead to the Blues. Cubulo gets in, double team on Montgomery. Ross came across and stole it. Takes on Gaze. Gaze gets a deflection. Prevents Ross from making the breakaway layup. The Blues will get another chance. Barr. Looking for her first points. Ross. Strong on the offensive glass. Hollingsworth, she thought about pulling the trigger. Shot clock's down to 5. Hollingsworth penetrates. It's going to have to go up. Just beats the shot clock. And that'll be Capitals Academy ball. So Ross and Gaze, the leading scorers in the game, both with 4 apiece. Montgomery, top of the key. She's looked dangerous in the paint. Schweitzer, baseline jumpers off. Simmons in an Nankervis, turnaround, left hook, off the mark. Got a foul call. Nankervis just hasn't been able to make those early days in this game. Certainly got a work cut out for her against the presence that is Montgomery. So Nankervis has just been a work horse for the Blues this season. Nearly averaging double figures in the rebounding. She makes both. Nankervis will take a break. Ivanov comes in. So the Blues with a small lineup now. Full court extended pressure. Hollingsworth picks Cubulo's pocket. And that's exactly what the Blues wanted. Simmons. She nearly throws it away. Barr Hasn't been able to get going yet, of course. First game back since concussion. When I say first game back, she's only played one game. She had 26 against the Spectres. Hollingsworth, through ball, is good! Never looked like missing. And that sparks the Blues in a 6-point margin. Forcing a timeout call. Blues are leading 15-9. 2.5 to play in the first term. Oh, hang on. So early days here at Frankston Basketball Centre for round 4 SEABL action. The Blues leading 15-9. Kate Gaze has 4 for the visitors. And Perrette has 4 for the Blues. Nothing separating either team's early days. But Lana Hollingsworth, three-pointer, just gave the Blues a little bit of breathing room. Pulls up on the runner. Barr, top of the key. She shoots. It's good! So the Blues hit back-to-back triples. Courtesy of Hollingsworth and Barr. Gaze gets inside, can't finish. And the Blues have a chance to extend their 7-point margin. Barr, she wanted it. Heat check. Rims out. Montgomery, she fought for that rebound. Capitals Academy do not want Stacey Barr to get going. Three ball wide open. Simmons can't hit. Montgomery hands off to Kublo. Block shot by Ivanov. Barr, baseline drive. Takes on Montgomery and finishes. As a coach, you hate to see that. You never give up baseline. Nearly a turnover by the Academy. Gaze, shot clock down to 5. Pulls the trigger, fouled and one! What a shot by Gaze. Saw the contact was coming and launched it. And it rattled in. So Simmons picks up a foul. Both teams on 4. Just 26.4 seconds to go in the first quarter. So there's still a chance for the Capitals Academy to get another shot. Simmons to Ross. Barr wide open. Off the target. Time's running out. Tapped out by Ivanov. So just under 6 seconds to play. Seeing some full court extended pressure. Hand off, layup is good. Oh, well, that's poor transition defense by the Blues. Gives the Canberra Capitals Academy an opportunity to close the margin to 4. It's 20-16 at quarter time. So an opening quarter tussle between the Laser Electrical Carrum down Frankston Blues against the visiting Canberra Capitals Academy. And it's Stacey Barr. She's leading the Blues with 5. Perrette, Ross have 4 each. Hollingsworth with that nice three-pointer. And Kate Gaze leads the way for the Capitals Academy with 7 with a spread of scorers. Ross is already up to 6 rebounds. She's been doing a mountain of work inside. And on the other side of the fence, Montgomery, she's got 5 rebounds of her own. It's been a highly entertaining first quarter. Both teams shooting at just over 30% from the field. One of the main differences is the Blues have been able to get to the line. They're 4 of 6 from the charity stripe. Capitals have just been there for the N1, 100% from the field. Nothing else really separating either side in this round 4. Of course, entering this game, the Capitals Academy are 1-1, while the Blues are still searching for their first win. But we're really impressive against the Spectres, pushing them all the way against a talent-laden opposition. And late in that game, Stacey Barr got concussed when she ran into the end wall, chasing down a fast break. She missed the game against the Rangers, and boy did the Blues miss her, because the Rangers had weapons all over the court. Despite an early barrage from Ivanov, who was on fire in the early stages of the game, in fact the opening term. But we're underway now in the second period against the visiting Canberra Capitals. We see Barr firing over the 3. So Barr hits her second three-pointer. And she's up to 8 points to lead all scorers. Running sky hook is good by Jihad. That looked nice. Barr getting a lot of attention. She drives hard, creates a contact, and she'll go to the line for 2. So Barr with 5 straight points puts her side up by 7. My apologies. Long range 3 is off the mark. Ivanov pulls down the rebound, sets off Hollingsworth. Perrette. Nankervis, top of the key, swings it to Barr. Barr goes hard. Going to get an offensive foul called on Nankervis for a moving screen. Cubulo. Shot clock's down to 5. Bah. Gets the rebound. Nearly has her pocket picked. Now she pushes it up the court. Nice little handoff to Nankervis. Mismatch over Gaze. Unable to finish. Gaze for 3. Can't rattle that one home, but there's a big rebound inside there. It looked like it was Gerhaj. And a running scoop by Gaze is good. Rides the contact, and she'll head to the line to make a traditional 3-point play. Well, that was an important score by Gaze. The Blues were threatening to get away from them. And with this free throw, she can close the margin back to 4. Which she does. Bar. Sorry, my apologies. I just assumed it was Bar. It was Ivanov. Huge 3. It's from Bar's spot. Well, Ivanov was on fire in that first quarter against the Rangers on Anzac Day, as we see. Tough drive. Ross is on the floor. She looks hurt. That doesn't look good. Ross writhing in pain on the floor. That's not a good sign. So the Blues are leading 28-21. Takara Ross has gone down with an injury of sorts to her left leg. I'm not yet sure if it's a knee or an ankle. But Ross has done a mountain of work already. 6 rebounds, 4 points. And she'll go down and sit, and we're hoping that she'll be okay, be able to brush it off. Looks like it might be a knee, actually. We'll keep you posted on progress with Ross. Right now, Tugliak at the line. Hopefully I got that pronunciation right. Shoot me a tweet if I got it wrong. At Damien Arsenis. Five-point ball game. Ross sitting injured on the bench. We've got a turnover by the Blues. So with Ross, it actually looks like it's her ankle. Looks like they're going to strap it up as we see the Blues come away with a steal. Bah. Goes to work against Kubelow. Turnaround jumpers off the mark. Ivanov was looking for a nice little pickpocket there. Just couldn't get it. Gaze. Long rebound pulled in. Stolen by Ivanov. Bah. Since Ross went down, the Blues haven't been able to score. Neither of the Caps Academy though. McCapian makes a nice jumper top of the key. And it's a 3-point ball game. The Blues leading 28-25, but with Takara Ross going down with an apparent ankle injury. So it's round 4 SEABL action. And it's a 28-25 lead to the Frankston Blues. Stacey Barham, Kate Gaze are going head-to-head, 10 points apiece in the first half. But the story is, just in the last minute, Takara Ross, the Blues forward, has gone down with an ankle injury. She's got her shoe off and it looks like it's being given some attention on the sidelines. So it's a massive blow for the Blues if she can't return. Of course, they missed Stacey Barr in their last game against the Rangers on Anzac Day. Canberra Capitals Academy are missing Keely Frawley though. Froling, of course, is in China with the Australian 3-on-3 team at the FIBA 3-on-3 Asia Cup. So we see Ivanov, top of the key. Simmons. Simmons tried to get it to Nankervis, but hit the rim instead. So the Capitals Academy have a chance to regroup. Cubulo draws a foul. So Nankervis picks up foul number 2. McAppian. Pull-up jumpers off the mark, and it's Hollingsworth with a big rebound. She unleashes Perrette. Gets it to Nankervis, who's going to work in the paint. Difficult layup attempt. Gets caught behind the backboard, and it's McAppian on the break. So the Capitals Academy on a mini run now. Narrow the margin to 1. And since Ross has gone down, the Blues offensively look a little bit lost. Hollingsworth, left-hand runner. That was tough. Can't buy it. Gaze leads the charge. She loses the handle. Simmons, Hollingsworth. Can't save it. Gets her foot stuck on the line. Right now, you can just see the heads of the Blues have dropped a bit with Ross sitting on the bench. And Ross's foot is got a bag of ice over it. So I doubt at this stage we're going to see Ross back in the game. Look at a foul call. But yes, what a loss Ross is going to be. Looking at her on the bench, it does not look like we're going to see her return in this game tonight. And of course, coming up after this game, we've got the Canberra Gunners. They're taking on the Blues. Of course, the Blues men are looking for their first win of the season as well. So making the first, Cubulo can take the lead for the Capitals Academy. And they do. Ivanov nearly loses the ball. Hollingsworth goes to work. McAppian just tapped it out. Six seconds on the shot clock. They have to get something quick. And an offensive foul called. Another moving screen. So Perrette picks up foul number 3. And of course, if Ross doesn't return, the Blues are going to run with a roster of 8 for the remainder of the game. McAppian looked like she may have walked. Gets away. And they managed to get the offensive rebound. Cubulo regroup. Great hands by Hollingsworth. Prizes it loose. Simmons under all kinds of pressure from Gaze. Perrette. Hollingsworth. Step back jumper. Short. And Gaze. Three-ball attempt is long. Blues come up with a rebound. And a foul. So the Capitals Academy call timeout. They've taken the lead. They're leading 29-28 with 3 minutes and 4 seconds left in the first half here at Frankston Basketball Centre. So we're in a close game here at the Frankston Basketball Centre for round 4 SEABL action. Of course, this is the second game of round 4 for the Blues. They went down to the Dandenong Rangers on Wednesday night on Anzac Day. That was a game that had no Stacey Barr. Well, it looks like they may have no Takara Ross for the remainder of this game, going down with what appears to be a severe ankle sprain. Barr can't make the first, finishes the second. Gets fouled. Well, there's a score the Blues needed. Barr returns from having a break on the bench with immediate impact. And it's been a case of Gaze versus Barr on the scoreboard. And now Barr's taken the lead 12-10 over Gaze. Two sharpshooters. What an addition Barr is to this Frankston team. Much needed scoring. And with someone like Lana Hollingsworth, who's going to be heading to Boston College later in the year. A great role model for her. Cubulo. Rowe. Back to Cubulo, who throws an errant pass, trying to get it to Montgomery in the post. One of those things when you're trying to get in the post, you got to wait till they've got the seal. Montgomery still was working on position. Great pressure by Gaze. Pulls the trigger on Simmons. Simmons, a bit fortunate that didn't go in. And Gaze pokes it away again. Simmons is not having a good time of it. Gaze making Simmons' life almost unbearable. And Simmons steps away and gives the ball handling duties to Hollingsworth, but Barr goes, "No, I'll have none of that. I'll just take it to the rack myself. Thank you very much." And Barr, what an impact she's having on this contest. Almost single-handedly has put her side back ahead by 4. Montgomery. Ivanov pokes it out. Wide open 3-ball. Gaze is off target. Normally eats those for breakfast. And Blues get the break. Simmons is going to try and have another crack. No, Hollingsworth against McAppian. Two rising stars of the game. Nankervis. Screaming for the ball inside. Hollingsworth taking on McAppian. Oh, nearly able to make it. Just rimmed out. Strong drive, and she'll head to the line for two. So with Barr back on the court, you can just see the Blues have steadied. Hollingsworth, rock solid from the line. It's been impressive so far this season. And I'll put the mock on her. She's been super impressive up until Wednesday's game. She was averaging over 15 points a game. And Montgomery just going to work in the paint. Very difficult. But gets in the paint. It's fouled. Wide open. Well, Caitlin pokes it out. We've got a great game here at Frankston Basketball Centre. It's the Blues leading by 1 over the Canberra Capitals Academy. Just under 23 seconds to play in the first half, and it's been Stacey Barr, 15 first half points. Of course, that becomes even more important. Her influence on the game becomes more important with Takara Ross out injured. She did her ankle earlier in this period and does not look like she's going to return. As we see Nankervis put up a tough hook shot. Trying to get it over Ross. That hasn't proven to be a successful ploy so far in this game. Montgomery. Ivanov on the floor. Look at the bodies flying everywhere. And the held ball's called, and it's going to be with the Academy. So Nankervis, none of 4 from the field. Could even be none of 5, I think, but on the halftime buzzer, Kate Gaze with a big shot. Puts her side up 35-34. It's been a seesawing third term. One that saw Takara Ross do her ankle. But it's halftime with the visitors, the Canberra Capitals Academy, leading 35-34. Welcome back to Frankston Basketball Media's coverage of round 4 SEABL action between the hometown Laser Electrical Carrum Downs Frankston Blues against the visiting Canberra Capitals Academy. And with me is Lachlan Goodison from Peninsula Sports Medicine Group. Now, Lachlan, we saw Takara Ross go down with what looked to be, from my perspective, an ankle injury early in that second quarter. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
True, it looked scary. We went down there and she wasn't happy because she knew straight away it was an ankle. She felt it something go snap, and that's typical with an ankle sprain. They actually feel the ligaments tear, and it's more upsetting than it was a bad injury. So we got it to the sidelines pretty quickly, took the sock and shoe off, and it was just starting to swell. So normal principles of RICE, rest, ice, compress, elevation. So we quickly put a compressive sponge on it and then a bandage, and we're icing over the top of that. I think she'll be right to play next week. It looks pretty minor at this stage. She's a tough cookie.
So we're just about to start the second half, and it's the visitors, the Canberra Capitals Academy, leading 35-34. With me is Lachlan Goodison from Peninsula Sports Medicine Group, talking about Takara Ross and her ankle injury, as we see Stacey Barr open the second half, getting it to Nankervis and a turnover. So Takara Ross's ankle, we saw it quickly elevated, Rice, and is that good advice for anyone listening at home for when you do an ankle?
What everyone doesn't do at home, and they should do it, and take this message, guys, is compress it. Rest, ice, compression, elevation. So quickly get a bandage on it, okay? And if you limit how much it can swell and bleed, you limit how much time you've got to spend at the physio and how many dollars your mum and dad have to spend with us.
As we see Stacey Barr get one back herself, leading the break. Goes all the way, draws a foul, and she'll head to the line for 2. So if you haven't got Rice and you're not in ice, and you're in that situation, you haven't got anything, is it better to leave the shoe on with the sock because there's compression involved?
Typically a shoe won't have enough compression, so rip your other sock off and use that as a tourniquet bandage. Typically in sports, someone will have a bandage or a handkerchief or something like that. The other thing we do, we talk about Rice, rest, ice, compression, elevation. What we don't do is harm, heat, alcohol, rubbing, or return to sport and massage. So you don't go home and have an alcoholic drink, you don't massage it, you don't go back and run on it. Because you want to limit the bleeding the first 24 hours, and thereafter we want to encourage blood flow to encourage healing.
Now for any of those juniors out there, or even other semi-pros as such as SEABL, they should also seek some medical attention if it's not immediately available.
Look, good point. I'll just say this. There's a rule of thumb in the medical world, and that is a traumatic injury in a juvenile is a broken bone until proven otherwise. So if Takara was 14 years old, we would assume right now that she's broken her ankle, not just sprained it, and we'll be sending her off for a check x-ray. And we do that for every child, whether it's a dislocated finger, a sprained ankle. Always check, because they break bones far more easily than adults do.
As we see, a three-point attempt is off the mark, but Montgomery gets the rebound, goes up against Ivanov. Schweitzer's off the mark. Montgomery again, blocked by Ivanov. And they're going to get another chance. Kate Gaze for top of the key. Wow, all those second and third opportunities, and they finally made them pay. So some great advice. Is there any other advice around the ankles and management that you might have for the listeners?
Absolutely. Research shows that ankle sprains, you lose your balance, and especially in kids, it's very often you can re-sprain it the next couple of weeks later and a couple of weeks later again.
As we see, sorry to cut in, as we see Stacey Barr answer with the treble of her own. She's up to 18 points.
So the physio will show you balance exercise that you need to do daily for 6 months, would you believe, to get your ankle as good as what it was before you sprained it. So too often people do a little roll of the ankle or sprain the ankle and they go back to sport next week, only for it to re-roll a couple of weeks later and then a couple of weeks later again. So physio will be able to show you exercise you need to do, and you need to do them daily, just like brushing your teeth.
So you just told me where I went wrong then. Because I did exactly that. I did my ankle and I was back about 3 weeks later, and within 2 weeks I did it again.
Yeah, and we also tape, in kids, we tape their ankle for 6 weeks after spraining it, just to give that bit of extra support.
Ivanov gets a little hand in with a block, and Simmons.
And if they get recurrent sprains, we put them in an ankle brace.
So some great advice around ankle management as we see Sammy Simmons hit the long 2. And of course the other thing I'll take advantage to speak to you about, Lachlan, is of course we saw Stacey Barr go down really heavily and was concussed against the Spectres last week.
Correct.
And she didn't come up against the Rangers this week. So what's that management, and how's she being managed?
The thing about Stacey was she actually got knocked out. So that's mandatory 1 week, no matter what sport you're playing. We promptly got her to see a sports physician who do neurological assessments. And they deemed, luckily for her, that it was a very minor concussion. But because she was knocked out, she has a week. So for any athlete, that the science is really in on concussion now, concussion management, and you must be assessed by a professional to ascertain ongoing neurological deficits from even a minor concussion.
As we see a held ball call, and Blues come away with it. So again, with kids, because we've probably got a lot of kids listening in as well, right, and there's been a knock to the head, what should parents do? We
monitor them for the first 4 hours. So you're looking for dizziness, blurred vision, nausea, sleepiness, drowsiness, or flip side, they can become quite agitated, like they've had a sugar hit. So if they're not normal, and mums know, if your kids aren't normal the next 4 hours, we suspect a concussion, or could even be a bleed inside the brain. So again, parents, nausea, fatigue, or flip side, aggression and anxiety, blurred vision, ring in your ears, headache, that sort of stuff. You do not give them aspirin, because that makes them bleed more. You do not give them anti-inflammatories, that makes them bleed more. You can give them a Panadol if you like, but you certainly keep an eye on them. And if in doubt, off to casualty. Or ring your physio at Langwarren Sports Medicine.
So some great advice from Lachlan Goodison from Peninsula Sports Medicine Group. And so Stacey's all good to go tonight. Like, we've seen her, she looks normal, she's playing fantastic. And there's been nothing else she needs to manage since then?
I spoke to her during the week and she did have headaches for 4 days. So it was kind of a classic concussion situation where she only knocked out, didn't think too much of it, got her assessed. The doc said, look, you're out for a week, and sure enough, she had headaches for 3 or 4 days. So, but no, she's back 100% now.
And is that something now she monitors? So if something else happened, another knock to the head?
We'd have her assessed again. We'd treat it as a brand new concussion. And you can get a situation called second impact syndrome, where the brain starts to swell uncontrollably, and that often results in death. So we don't take concussions lightly, and we certainly don't take a second concussion lightly.
So we see the Blues, they've managed to open up a little 4-point lead after trailing by 1 from a Kate Gaze buzzer beater at half-time. We're joined by Lachlan Goodison from Peninsula Sports Medicine. As we see another heavy clash there. This rate, you might have a bit more work to go. You've got
so looking after the Blues for 27 years. All I have to do is put a band-aid on it tonight. I've got ankles, I've got concussions. Going down like flies.
It certainly has been a tough start to the season for the Blues, and Takara Ross, down with an ankle injury, will not be back tonight, but every chance she'll be back next week, and I guess that'll be something that'll be assessed and monitored throughout the week.
Correct. She'll have physio probably every day this week. And certainly next week we'll be taping her and perhaps bracing her.
As we see another heavy fall. Straight back up does Kate Gaze get. So Lachlan Goodison, thank you very much. Again, Lachlan Goodison from Peninsula Sports Medicine Group. Great supporters of Frankston Basketball and the Frankston Blues. We'll let you get back to Takara Ross, but thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Go Blues.
So Lachlan Goodison with some fantastic advice from Peninsula Sports Medicine. So it's a 2-point ball game, and it's the Capitals Academy with an opportunity to tie it up, or in fact take back the lead. Again, both teams are now undermanned. No Keely Froling tonight for the Capitals Academy. She's in China with the 3-on-3 Australian team, taking the court in the FIBA 3x3 Asia Cup. As Ivanov draws a foul against Kublo, she'll head to the line for 2. So the last week has been like a medical ward for the Blues. We had some great advice around ankle management and also concussions, what to do and what not to do. Both those injuries have impacted the Blues this week. Thankfully, Stacey Barr is back for the Blues tonight. She's doing her utmost best to keep them in front, earn their first win of the season. But Takara Ross's night is over. Ankle injury, and the best case prognosis is she'll be back next weekend. As Hollingsworth nearly picks the pocket of Cubo. And it's Gaze taking control. Montgomery getting good position in the paint, but it's Gaze at the free throw line with a tough jumper. So with that basket, Kate Gaze overtakes Stacey Barr. She has 17. Barr has 16 as Hollingsworth goes to work and is called for an offensive foul. Well, it's unlucky. That was a good, strong drive, but comes up empty-handed. So midway through the third period, so Blues with a narrow 2-point lead as Montgomery gets in the paint, dishes out to Gaze. That rims out. Hollingsworth just loses the footing and the handle. And Montgomery didn't see that coming. Doesn't have eyes in the back of her head. As Cubulo made the mistake of throwing a pass to a player not looking. Oh, Hollingsworth with a nice handoff to Nankervis, who has it stolen as Ivanov nearly steals it back. So the Blues may well need to find some more scoring from either Ivanov or Hollingsworth, especially with Ross going to sit this one out. Of course, Stacey Barr, 16. One feels she's only getting started. So Tuglia gives it wide. You know, offensive foul called. Another illegal screen. The refs have been on that tonight. Tugliak gets a foul. And that's going the way of the Capitals Academy. So the Blues Youth League 2 men are also in action tonight. They're taking on the Western Port Steelers. And late in the second period, it's the Steelers leading the Blues 41-28. It was a 30-15 opening term in favour of Western Port. Since then, Frankston's had most of the play, but that early 15-point first quarter margin is hurting them. As we just see Abby Cubulo drain the three-pointer to put her team in front by one. I'm positive Stacey Barr wants to answer, and she goes alone. Gets a rebound of her own shot. Hollingsworth. Ivanov, top of the key. Swings it wide. Simmons from deep. Great box out, but loses the handle. Still going to be Capitals Academy ball. Great hustle from both teams. Neither side has taken a backward step tonight. Hollingsworth gives up a cheap foul. Almost a tired foul. But haven't Boston College picked up another quality Australian player in Hollingsworth? Gaze. Oh, lovely little handoff. Hesitation by Montgomery. Blues escape there. Montgomery should have finished. Made that a lot more difficult than it needed to be. She had a great hesitation move off the Gaze pass and blew it. And with the Capitals over the limit, they're walking all the way to the other end for two. Stacey Barr makes no mistake from the line. Game high leading scorer with 18. Great baseline drive by Caitlin Rowe. And the seesaw continues. Giving Barr all kinds of headaches, but Barr with a strong drive. And she's now up to 20. 20 points by Stacey Barr. Much needed points at that, with Ross sitting this one out. And Montgomery finds herself open back door, and this time makes no mistake. Ivanov out wide. She wants to shoot. She drives. Tough shot. And Stacey Barr nearly scraps for the rebound. But it's Rowe. And this time Perrette saw what Montgomery was trying to do, breaks it up, and the pass sails out of bounds. Blues ball. So just over a minute and a half to play in the third period. And we've got a close one on our hands. Barr strong to the basket, draws a foul. So Barr back to the line. They're making life extremely difficult for her, but they've tried to close her out the three-point line. She's found a way to get to the charity stripe. So Stacey Barr up to 21 points. Seeing some full court pressure. The Capitals Academy break it quite comfortably. Gaze. Ivanov guarding her. Pull up is good. That's quality. That battle between Gaze and Barr on the scoreboard. Those two are going head to head. They're the only players in double figure scoring. Barr. Oh, Stacey Barr! A big three-pointer. Puts her side back in front by one. And she's up to 24. And we've got an offensive foul. Montgomery's pinged for a moving screen. She can't believe it. And that's her fourth foul. That's a big foul on Montgomery. She sits out. And Rowe nearly picks off the pass to Barr. Rowe's really stepped up in this period, both defensively and making a nice basket. But Stacey Barr, what a quality game she's played so far. Pulls the trigger from deep again, this time it's off. And the Capitals Academy will have a chance to have the last shot of the third period. And they've got it in exactly the hands they want. Kate Gaze, dishes wide, Rowe. She stepped out of bounds. 5 seconds to play, so the Blues will get the last chance. Barr from half court. Oh my Lord, it nearly went in. She hits the deck hard. Foul's been called. He's called it on the floor. The foul is on the floor, he's called, so it's only going to be 2 shots. So he's called a foul after the launch, after she landed, and she's going to shoot 2. Rattles the first in. Oh, Stacey Barr, 26 points, matches her one and only game against the Spectres, her debut for the Blues, where she had 26. And it's the Blues, they're back ahead by 3, 54-51, heading into the final quarter. Well, if you're just joining us right now, what a contest we have between the Laser Electrical Carrum Downs, Frankston Blues, hosting the Canberra Capitals Academy. And it's the Blues leading by 3 heading into the final period. This is something we haven't seen from the Blues all season long. They're in a position to win their first game of 2018 SEABL competition. And Stacey Barr, what a game she's having, 26 points. It's only her second game in a Blues uniform. In her debut against the Spectres, she had 26. She had to miss the game against the Rangers due to concussion against the from the Spectres late in the game. But she's back. Lovely little dish inside. And Jahaz just managed to find an opening and slipped in. So a 1-point ball game early in the final period. Of course, Kate Gaze, she's been outstanding for the Academy as well. 19 points. Barr throws up a circus shot. Doesn't drop. And the Academy are off and running through McCapian. Tries a similar play. Tried to find Rowe inside. Sorry, that was Jahaj inside. This time it doesn't come off, and the Blues have a chance to build upon their narrow lead. Barr dishes out wide. Ivanov just misses. Simmons nearly was able to keep it alive. And Gaze, she's been impressive. That's her range. That's her shot, and she's made that nearly all game as Nankervis pulls down a board. Of course, if you're just joining us, Takara Ross went down heavily on her ankle early in the second period. She has not taken any further part, nor will she rejoin this game. The prognosis is that she'll only miss a week, an early assessment. Thanks to Peninsula Sports Medicine, you see Gaze. Oh. Nice little fadeaway baseline jumper by Gaze. Puts the Academy back ahead by 1. Nankervis. Perrette fires from deep. Big 3-pointer. Oh, we've got a shootout. But Capian can't get it. Nankervis, a big rebound. A lot of attention and knocked out of her hands. It'll be Blues ball. That's Stacey Barr giving tips on how to dry the ball. So Barr, can she add to her 26 points? Can the Blues extend their 2-point lead? Caps did a good job at closing out Barr. Free throw line, back of the rim. Errant pass picked up by Ivanov. She can't make them pay. Oh, missed opportunities there for the Blues. Gaze, she drives hard and is fouled. Looks like it'll be on Simmons. Which it is, and that'll be her third personal. So, of course, stick with us. Coming right up after this game will be the men. Canberra Gunners are in town, and they're gunning for the Frankston Blues. Of course, Frankston were in the box seat against the Rangers on Anzac Day, only to get overrun in the final term, and they're searching for their first win. So we're all locked up here at Frankston Basketball Centre. Stick with us. What surely to be a exciting. Oh, we got a bit of a tangle happening mid-court. And Tugliak will pick up a foul. Skip pass. Perrette gets it inside the Barr. Throws it up. Shot clock's going to go off. But the Caps Academy come away with it first. Another skip pass. Simmons picks a pass. Gets fouled. So just over 6 minutes to play in this game. Nothing separates either side. And if you're wondering where the Capitals Academy leading scorer is, of course, Keely Froling. She's over in China playing 3-on-3 basketball for Australia. And on the flip side, the Blues star import Takara Ross. She's out injured with an ankle. She did early in the second period. Nankervis, turn, jumper, way off the mark. Gaze. Back to Gaze. Pulls the trigger. Rolls in. It's the Academy now up by 2. Canberra Capitals Academy just won't go away as Ivanov finds Nankervis baseline. It is blocked! Ivanov fights for it. Ends up in Barr's hands, but a foul's been called. Looks like Ivanov might pick that one up. But it's actually Barr. Barr picks up the foul. Hollingsworth on court has 4 fouls. She's only got 4 points. Great defense by Barr. Draws the offensive foul on Abby Cubulo. Big defensive stop by Barr. She's not just a scoring machine. Perrette. Ivanov. Hollingsworth. Barr short on this occasion. Last touch by the Blues. So what an exciting final 5 minutes coming up of women's 2018 SEABL action. Round 4, of course, the Blues seeking their first win of the season. Gaze off target, bodies are flying. Barr leading the break. Lovely handoff to Ivanov. Tied ball game again. Love to have a statistician sitting next to me to tell me how many times the score's changed. Jahaj finishes inside. And it's the Academy back in front, the Capitals Academy. Just have not gone away all game as Nankervis misses again. And it looks like Hollingsworth is going to get it, and if she has, that'll be the end of Hollingsworth's game. I think that's foul number 5. Certainly is. She'll have to sit out. So Simon Mitchell's got his work cut out for him now. He's going to bring Simmons back on. But he's now only got 7 active players. So both teams are sitting on 3 fouls. Neither team over the bonus. So Rowe. Probing. Good defense by Barr, but a lapse in baseline. Sees Callie Bourne. What a talent she is. Of course, she's been experiencing 3-on-3 basketball as well. Her family. So Gaze swings it wide. 3 ball is good. Caitlin Rowe with a big triple. Puts the visitors up by 7 points, forcing the Blues to call time with 3:43 left to play in the final term. So what a final term by the Capitals Academy. They've managed to steal a 7-point buffer. And it hasn't just been Kate Gaze. What a big 3-point attempt that was by Caitlin Rowe. She's up to 5 points. But Kate Gaze, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. She's been a star. On the flip side, Stacey Barr has 26, 5 rebounds and 2 assists herself. So the Blues have done so well to adjust without Takara Ross, who did her ankle early in the second term, but with Hollingsworth fouling out, they're running out of legs on the bench as Barr finds herself open and just an errant pass. Kubler went down. Good sportsmanship. Barr helps her up. Looks like she's just going to have a hair break, fix her hair up. But the Blues, they're going to throw everything at the Capitals Academy now. 3.5 to play, down by 7. Tough shot by Gaze. This time it misses everything. She thought she was fouled. So what can Barr do? Barrett. Aggressive drive, and is called for an offensive foul. Well, that hurts the Blues. Just a little bit too aggressive. And we got a timeout called. And the Blues, they're trailing by 7 still, just under 3 to play in round 4, SEABL action. So it's been a battle of attrition. And it's the Frankston Blues find themselves down by 7 after leading for most of the game, although it has been a very seesawing leaderboard in this second half. But the Blues are just running out of players. They lost to Cara Ross with an ankle injury. Hollingsworth has fouled out. And with 2 very junior players on the bench, they're really running with 5 right now. So it's Canberra Capitals Academy in the box seat. It's going to take something special from the Blues from here. But Kate Gaze, there she is. She's been exceptional. Showing what a class player she is. Rowe hit a big dagger 3-ball moments ago. This time the Blues catch a break. Barr showing the moves. Just can't make it. It was a tough shot, but a brave move nonetheless. And it's going to take something brave from the Blues to get this. Abby Kublo has been rock solid at the point for the Capitals Academy. 3-ball is dagger. Well, just as I pump her up, she drains a 3-ball. It's a 10-point ball game as Nankervis gets baseline and finishes. But it's 8-point ball game, and it's going to be very difficult for the Blues to get out of this. Especially with that lady performing as well as she has. As Sammy Simmons just oversteps the mark. She picks up foul number 4. Perrett's also on 4. They really can't afford to foul anymore. Just quickly, there is another game in action tonight for the Blues. It's the Big V Youth League 2 men. They're battling the Western Port Steelers in a Mornington Peninsula battle. And the Steelers were up by more than 15 early. The Blues have closed the margin to 6 with 3:16 to play in the third. So the Canberra Capitals Academy make both, and it's back to 10. This young lady, Stacey Barr, needs to make a big difference and quickly. Tries to get to Nankervis, but it's forced out of bounds by the Capitals Academy. Simmons goes down heavy. She looks hurt too. That's the last thing the Blues need now, is their captain to go down with injury. She looks like she's in extreme pain too. This does not look good for Simmons. Of course, Lachlan Goodison we spoke to earlier from Peninsula Sports Medicine. Team physio is there to help Simmons off. She looks like she might be okay. She is limping off though. Let's hope it's nothing serious, because they've already lost to Cara Ross to an ankle injury. Hollingsworth has fouled out. Perrett's on 4. And the Blues are down 10. Barr nearly forces a steal. Got to get it over quickly. They just managed to get it over with 1 second to spare. A lot of contact, uncalled. 3-point attempt on the shot clock buzzer. Caitlin Rowe hits a second dagger. And I'm calling it now, that's it, as we see Stacey Barr get to the rim. But that is a dagger through ball there that just about seals the win for the Canberra Capitals Academy. But Stacey Barr, what a body of work she's done. This will bring up point number 29. So Gaze, Rowe again, nice pass, a lot of contact. That's Nankervis will pick up the foul. Sends Kelly Bourne to the line for 2. So for the Blues, Cassie Boris seeing her first minutes, with Captain Simmons going off with an injury. It's like to be a knee injury of sorts. Simmons has her knee heavily iced. Nankervis picks up a rebound. Ivanov is going to have to push it. Ivanov throws it to Nankervis, who should finish. And with a timeout called by the Capitals Academy. And with 31.5 seconds to go, it's the Blues trailing 66-74. So despite Stacey Barr piling on a season-high 29 points, it's been Kate Gaze. She's piled on 25 of her own. She's also got 8 rebounds and 6 assists. Caitlin Rowe with 2 big three-pointers in this period, along with Abby Cubulo, who's quietly moved up to 12. Those two ladies have hit three-pointers of their own to just about end this contest. As we see a quick foul taken by the Blues. The Cubulos hit some big buckets, Rose hit some big buckets, and that just complements the work of Gaze. So Cubulos run the point all night, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. She's been pretty good. Jahaj has had 8 points and 5 rebounds. And Montgomery has moved up to 11 boards. Whereas despite Ross leaving early in the second period, she's still the leading rebounder for the Blues with 6. Ivanov has 11 points and Perrette 10. As we see Nankervis go to work inside. Just about throws a player on the court. Can't quite see who that is. But it's going to be Blues ball with 13.6 seconds to play. Trailing by 10. So the Blues are going to finish this game still looking for their first win of the season. Barr throws a wild 3-point attempt in the corner, and Perrette picks up a foul. So Kate Gaze bettering a season average of 20.5 points a game. Cubulo's done better than her 9 as well. Those two have impressed, but it's been the likes of Caitlin Rose, 8 points, have really helped offset the loss of Keely Froling, who's of course in China, as we see another timeout called by the Capitals Academy. They're leading by 9 points with 8.5 seconds to play. So here at the Frankston Basketball Centre, I'm Damien Arsens from pickandroll.com.au, and 8.5 seconds to play. It's the Capitals Academy. They're going to get the win here, leading 67-76. The Blues are battered. Bruised and battered are the Blues tonight. Takara Ross out early in the second period with an ankle injury. Sammy Simmons has gone down here in the fourth with an apparent knee injury. Hollingsworth has fouled out. They've just about run out of players. So it's back to a 10-point margin, and Perrette's going to have a chance to make it under that if they can. It's Bora, she can't get it off, and that'll be the final score. It's the Frankston Blues going down 60, I think it's 67. They've lost the scoreboard on me, but nonetheless, it's a 10-point loss to the Laser Electrical Carrum Down Blues. But Kate Gaze led the winners. What a game she had. 25 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Cubulo finished with 14, 3 and 3. While on the flip side, Stacey Barr, season high, 29 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Malika Ivanov had 11, 3 and 3. Shannon Parrott, 11 points and 3 rebounds. But really, the Blues just ran out of players in that one. Of course, stick with us. We've got the Canberra Gunners up next against the Frankston RSL Blues. With the Blues looking for their first win of the season, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with you shortly.
Firstly for the Gunners, I'd like to introduce number 4, Rhys Kay, 5, Ben Allen, number 6, Jack Bartholomew, 10, Tom Holmes, number 9, Jared Fenwick, 10, Adam Gavrange, number 12, Glenn Morrison, 21, Dan, number 22, number 1, Bruce Carter, 2, Jack McCall, number 8, Rob Newton, number 9, Kevin Levine, 10, Tom Barrett, number 11, Luke Delson, 14, Gary Ross, number 22, Tim Mills III, 23, Sam Holloway, number 24, Alan Ross, 24, Daniel Hunt, assisted by Adam Jackson, Nathan Brody, team manager Paul Grove, and then video from Paul Smith. Ready for today's game, team members, Mitch
Welcome back to the Blues basketball media coverage for the SEABL Round 4 clash between the hometown Frankston RSL Blues up against the Canberra Gunners. I'm Damien Arsenis from the pickandroll.com.au, the online destination for all things Aussie hoops. And it's the Blues looking for their first win of the season tonight after they were in command for nearly all game against the Dandenong Rangers on Anzac Day before they capitulated in the last 5 minutes. They had that game in the bag, and it was a 2-1-2 press that undid the Blues on that occasion. Really against the run of play, because the Blues really put together 3 quality quarters and were able to restrict Anthony Drimmick up until late. So the lineups as we get underway with the Gunners earning the tip. Reece Carter, Benny Lewis, Robert Linton, Sam Muldrow and Aaron Ross for Frankston. While for Canberra, Daniel Joyce, Ben Allen, Gabrinich, Bartholomew and Gaff are all starting. As we see an errant pass, trying to get it into Allen, goes sailing over his head and out of bounds. So Reece Carter returns to Australia after having played in Sweden. Aaron Ross, mid-range jumper is off. Linton chases it down. And great second effort by Robert Linton. Of course, returning to the Blues this season after playing in the South Australian Premier League with the Southern Tigers. Offload baseline for the Sam Muldrow dunk. An impressive start by the Blues, getting the crowd involved early. And a nice runner by Bartholomew. He gets the scoring underway for the Gunners. Of course, earlier tonight, it was the Canberra Capitals Academy getting over the top of the Frankston Blues to keep them winless. Muldrow. Oh! Again, back-to-back buckets by Muldrow. He's starting off just like he left off in the last game. He was on fire early against the Rangers. Really helped kickstart. Fantastic opening quarter by the Blues against the Rangers. We see that shot off the mark by Gabrinich. Carter probing. Gets to the room and finishes with a nice left-hand flip. So Joyce going to work. He's off target. Daniel Joyce comes into this game averaging 25 points a game to lead his side. Eric Gaff, of course, the long-time Geelong Super Cat. He's averaging 19. Broderick Doran, 15. Glenn Morrison, 11. So the Blues get a stop, and Carter going straight to work, hands off and throws it away. And Muldrow sends that into the window. So good opening 3 minutes by the Blues, has them ahead 6-2. Oh, nice little inbounds play. Finds Eric Gaff. So Gaff's now a veteran of the SEABL competition, as we see Benny Lewis is sent back. And Daniel Joyce with a three-pointer. 30 seconds later, it's the Gunners up 7-6. Carter fires. Joyce can't make it. Ross pulls down a big defensive rebound. And Carter swings it to Lewis, down into Muldrow. Up fakes, shoots, he scores. Sam Muldrow with 6 early points, leads all scorers. Joyce. Bartholomew from way downtown. So the Gunners respond with a big shot of their own. And halfway through the first term, it's 8-10 in favour of the Gunners. Lewis taking on Joyce. Can't finish, and Ross gets pushed out. And that'll be Gavranich, picks up a foul. His first. In fact, that's the first foul of the game. We've played 5 minutes without a whistle. Macaulay for 3. He's been shooting well over recent weeks. Sorry, it's a long 2. But he's been shooting very well over the last week or 2. What an entertaining first 5 minutes we've seen. Joyce thought about it. This time he doesn't think, he fires. Gaff, offensive rebound, hook shot. Muldrow changing shots, and it's Ross. Linton throws a tough pass for Muldrow. He can't save it. Nearly takes me out in the process. So Fenwick, he's into the game now. And Macaulay's pinged for a foul. So Morrison sends a pick. Joyce goes bang. Second three-pointer for Joyce. He's up to 6 points. Ross pulls up, tough jumper, hand in the face. It drops. We're going to see an early, and we see substitution. Linton comes off for the Blues. We see another foul on Macaulay. He picks up 2 quick ones. So it's Thomas Garrett into the game for the Blues. He replaced Linton. Long. And Ross does the cleaning up. No, it's not. Lewis does the cleaning up. Macaulay quickly gets it inside to Muldrow. And is fouled on the wrist by Allen. So for the Gunners, Jared Phillips is seeing his first action tonight. First one rolls in. It's on the court right now. We have Macaulay, Lewis, Garrett, Muldrow and Ross. And for Canberra, Joyce, Morrison, Allen, Phillips and Fenwick. As he makes both. Muldrow's up to 8 points. Blues off and running after that missed three-point attempt. Ross, top of the key. Macaulay gives it to Muldrow. He likes it. It's short. Allen rebounds. Sends off Fenwick. That was a wayward pass by Phillips. Lewis. Top of the key, three is good. Sam Muldrow. 11 first quarter points for Sam Muldrow. 11 of 17 of Frankston's points. Allen shoots his own three. It's good. Ben Allen shows he's got range still. Macaulay. Fadeaways way off target. Fenwick has them off and running. Joyce for three. Rattles out. And now the Blues are back at it straight away. Lewis goes straight to the rim against Allen. Draws a foul. And he'll go to the line. Both teams are playing very aggressively. Blues are particularly trying to force the pace in transition. They're leading by one, just under 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. So Lewis. Lewis makes both. And the Blues are up by three. So we see a massive substitutions. Kevin Benn steps into the game. Also Jared Moss for his first minutes. But Jared Moss is getting an opportunity to play more minutes per game than he did the whole season last year down in Hobart. So it's Carter. Hands off to Garrett. Who hands off again. Ben. Shot clock's down to 5. Moss. Blocked. So it's the Gunners. Errant pass by Gaff is picked off by Ben. There's about a 12-second differential with the shot clock. Carter falls over heavily. He's okay, straight back up. But the Gunners, they're going to look to take the last shot. Five seconds, 3-ball attempt, back of the iron. Ross sends off Carter. He's got time, he flips it in, and that'll be quarter time. A strong finish at the buzzer by Reese Carter. And it's the Blues. They've opened up a 5-point margin, leading 21-16 over the Canberra Gunners. So an entertaining first quarter here at Frankston Basketball Centre. Thanks to Frankston Blues Media. I'm Damien Arsenis from the pickandroll.com.au, your online destination for all things Aussie hoops. And it's Frankston Blues, the Frankston RSL Blues, leading 21-16 after the opening term. They've been led superbly by Sam Muldrow, the import, 11 points. He also has 2 rebounds. Well, for the Gunners, it's been Daniel Joyce. He's hit 2 bombs for 6 points. Bartholomew's has also got 5, and Ben Allen hit a big 3-pointer late in that term. Daniel Joyce also has 3 assists. Been a highly entertaining game, one that was opened with Muldrow on fire, starting it off with a baseline dunk, and he's just been making shots all over the court, capped by a 3-pointer at the top of the key. Of course, the Blues looking for their first win of the season. So, second term's about to get underway. There is one other game, Frankston game tonight that we do need to mention. It's the Big V Youth League 2 men. They went down fighting 81-90 to the Western Port Steelers. They came back from being more than 15 points down to take the lead in the third quarter before the Steelers regrouped to win. As we see the Gunners come up with a first stop. That Youth League game, it was big comeback by the Blues, and it was Ryan Wells leading the way with 24 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists for the Blues. Of course, earlier tonight, we saw the Canberra Capitals Academy. They managed to steal a 77-67 win against a Blues lineup that suffered injuries to Takara Ross early in the second term. Sammy Simmons went down with what looked to be a knee injury in the final quarter. And of course, as we see an unsportsmanlike foul on the break called. Of course, with the rules on a break, be very careful how you run that these days, because the way the rules are, if you're in an open court, you'll end up with shooting free throws, getting tongue-tied, shooting free throws and giving away possession. As we see the first missed, we're saying the Blues suffered some injuries tonight at the hands of the Canberra Capitals Academy. The Blues women from Laser Electrical Carrum Downs. Still searching for their first win of the season despite a game-high 29 points from Stacey Barr. Joyce, hands out. Phillips can't make it. Lewis is off and running. Muldrow thought about shooting the 3-ball briefly. Carter. Muldrow. Well, a foul called. Moss nearly throws it away. As we see some minutes for Luke Diolcorn. Lewis for 3. A fall away 3-pointer by Lewis. Extends the margin to 8. That was a confident looking shot by Lewis. Phillips swings it out to Gaff. Bartholomew working hard. Dishes to the corner. And Daniel Joyce hits another three. His third three-pointer for the game. He has 9. Lewis to Carter. Fall-away jumper. Off the mark. Lewis saves it. He's got a mismatch. He wants it down the post. Moss. Back-to-back three-pointers to the Blues. Of course, sandwiching that one made by Joyce. Becoming a three-point shootout. Gaff gives it down low. Fall-away jumper is good. Morrison. It's his first score of the game. He comes in averaging but more than 11 and 6, so certainly needs some more scoring output from him as Lewis hits his second in a row. 3 consecutive three-pointers by the Blues. And the Blues come up with a steal on an errant pass. Alley-oop was thrown to Lewis. To Orcon, nearly saves it. It's Phillips on the break. He misses. Moss comes up with a big rebound. It's going to be held ball, but it will be the Gunners. So Linton comes back from Dalcorn, who gave a couple of minutes off the bench. And Bartholomew steps off. So Canberra respond with a 3-ball of their own, courtesy of Fenwick. As Lewis, he was feeling it. Carter nearly tipped it in. So the Gunners looking to close back on this possession. It's currently a 6-point margin. So Joyce being guarded by Moss. Good hands by Carter. Prizes it loose. Linton dumps it into Muldrow, goes to work, draws a foul against, didn't quite see, I think it was Morrison that picked up that foul. Yes, it was. So we have a timeout called, and it's the Blues. They're up by 6, 30-24. So with 5:34 to play, it's the Blues up by 6 over the visiting Canberra Gunners. Sam Muldrow leads all scorers with 11, but Daniel Joyce, 3 3-pointers for 9. But it's become a bit of a shootout. Lewis has quickly moved up to 8 with a couple of big 3-balls in this period. But it's Muldrow at the line for 2. Muldrow certainly was super impressive against the Rangers midweek on Anzac Day. He certainly plays with a bit of flair, unlike Aaron Ross, who's just workmanlike about and goes about his way. So Muldrow up to 13 to lead all scorers. It's back to an 8-point margin in favour of the Blues. So Joyce. Gaff throws it in. Rejected by Muldrow. He's doing it at both ends. Linton swings it back to Muldrow. Top of the key. Sam Muldrow is taking over this ball game. What a game by Sam Muldrow. Defensively blocking the shot, shooting the through ball at the other end. As we see a nice score inside there by Morrison. Sam Muldrow, he's certainly been a spark plug, providing some scoring punch. They go straight back to Muldrow, taking on Gaff in the post. And he travels this time. Gaff, with all that experience, to stay down. Played him well. He'll take a break, and it's Ben Allen steps back on. And Ben Allen nearly throws it away. Very nonchalant with that pass. So Joyce to Allen. And McCauley picks it off. And the Blues are on a 4-2 fast break. And it's Lewis, goes all the way. Lewis is just so effective in the open court. So Joyce. Allen. Kick pass. 3-ball attempt is good. Fenwick hits his second three-pointer of the term. Doing enough to keep the Gunners with under 10. Ross. He hasn't needed to do too much offensively. Or this nice spin move to the basket. With Muldrow providing a lot of the scoring, Ross has just had to hold his own defensively, but comes up with a beautiful spin drive. That's his 4th point, as we see. Daniel Joyce lighting it up from outside himself. His 4th three-pointer of the game. He moves up to 12. So, and fouled. Morrison will pick that one up. Ross hit the ground pretty hard. So Morrison has got 3 first-half fouls. He'll probably have to sit. There he is. Gaff comes back on. But Daniel Joyce, 4 or 6 from downtown. You can't leave him open. And he's certainly come ready to play tonight. Ross misses the first. He didn't like that. Misses both. And Gaff taps it straight out of court. Couldn't handle it. Costly error by Gaff. Of course, the former Super Cat, as we have time out to the Blues, they're going to set something up. With 2:44 to play in the first half, they've got a 7-point buffer. So with just under 3 minutes to play in the second period, it's the Blues leading the Gunners by 7. And it's been Sam Muldrow. He's been absolutely sensational. 16 points. And then you throw in a bit of Benny Lewis magic. He's got 10. And it's been all Blues. But Daniel Joyce has done nearly a lone hand effort to keep him in the game as we see a fall away J by Lewis off the mark. He's hit 4 of 6 from downtown for 12. Gaff. Allen, turnaround jumper. Muldrow picks up the rebound. Ross taking on Allen. Shoots over the top of Allen and does so effectively. Ross is up to 6 points. He's got 6 rebounds. You see Fenwick. Lewis went for the steal, left his man open and makes him pay. Gavranich with a 3 ball. Lewis gambled, didn't come off, and the Gunners have fired. Muldrow. Gaff played him well, got the steal. Said hello to the fans in the first row. And Kay is off the target. Reece Kay seeing his first minutes of action tonight. Macaulay out wide. Lewis sets feet. Good. When he gets his feet set, he's going to hit more often than not. Lewis now has 13 points. He's also got 5 rebounds. And an offensive foul calling on Allen. Moving screen. So Blues have a chance to extend the margin into double figures. Of course, against the Rangers, they led by as many as 17 points with just over 5 to play. Strong drive against Allen, and Allen fouls again. That'll be Allen's 3rd. So Morrison and Allen both have 3 fouls for the Gunners. So Aaron Moss, what a find he's been for the Blues. He's missed his last 3 free throws. 6'8" forward from Little Rock, Arkansas. Played all his basketball at Texas Tech. Been 1 year out of college. He played for the Redwell Gunners Obervat in the Austrian Bundesliga, of all places. Of course, now lands in Frankston. Been a workmanlike import. Certainly providing this Blues team with some stability in the paint, as we see. Gaff 5 from deep, and it's good. So Gaff somehow prized away from Geelong in the off-season. Finds his way to Canberra, of course. Alex Bunton probably had something to do with that. Muldrow, fadeaway jumper! So, less than 10 seconds to play. The Gunners should get the last shot. It goes up, it's Joyce from deep, it's good! Daniel Joyce with a huge triple on the buzzer. Keeps his side with under 10-point margin. It's 47-40 at halftime in favour of the Blues. What a first half of basketball in round 4 SEABL action. Of course, it's the second game for the Blues, the Frankston RSL Blues, and they're leading the Gunners by 7. And it's been the story of Sam Muldrow. 18 first half points. He's got 3 rebounds and 1 assist. And throwing a big block shot in there as well. He certainly fired him up. Benny Lewis is fired up. He's got 13. 5 rebounds. And Aaron Ross is now up to 7. He's got 6 rebounds. Those 3 have done bulk of the scoring for the Blues. And for the Gunners, it's been almost a single hand by Daniel Joyce. He's hit 5 of 7 from downtown, including a triple on the buzzer. He's got 15 first half points. Next best for them is Fenwick with 6 on 2 trays himself. And Joyce has got 3 assists. So what an entertaining first half of action. Stick with us. We'll be back shortly for all the second half action thanks to Frankston RSL. So we're back now for second half, round 4, SEABL action between the Frankston RSL Blues and the Canberra Gunners, and it's the Blues up by 7 as we tip off the second half, and what a first half it was by Sam Muldrow. 18 points and 3 rebounds, throwing a couple of block shots. And they're going straight back to Muldrow. Sky hookers off target. That'll be Blues ball. Blues kept it active through Linton, I think it was. Oh, great set play off the inbounds to Muldrow. Believe it or not, he's now got 20 points. But Daniel Joyce was the other one. A 3-pointer on the buzzer. His 5th tray of the game. 5 of 7. Some very consistent shooting. Muldrow guarding Morrison. Big rebound by Ross. Had to call the foul. Morrison's picked up his 4th. It's not what the Gunners wanted. Morrison's picked up an early foul. It's his 4th foul for the game. We may even see a quick substitution. Oh, there's no movement from the Gunners bench. Ross, he wants a piece of the action. So the Blues with the opening 2 buckets have extended the margin to 11. So So Bartholomew throws it into Gaff. Morrison, he's fouled. He makes it. And he's going to go and try and knock down the traditional three-point play. So some great passing and ball movement by the Gunners. Sees Morrison head to the line for the bonus. It's high and wide. And it's Ross. Pulls down the rebound for rebound number 8. Muldrow goes straight inside, dishes out to Ross. Fires a tough jumper. Nearly goes down, and they've drawn another foul. This time it's Gavranich. It's his second. Ross makes the first. It's 4 of 5 from the free throw. Sorry, 1 of 4 from the free throw line in the first half. Makes no mistake this time. Lewis is riding Daniel Joyce, preventing him from getting the ball altogether. Joyce doubled. Gaff passes inside to Morrison. He turns it over. Reese Carter for 3 in the corner. And the Blues have extended it to 14. And Joyce hits the deck hard, bounces straight back up. He's going to the line for 2. All 15 of Joyce's points have come from beyond the arc. So we've got a timeout to Canberra. Joyce at the free throw line. It's 56-42 in favour of the Blues. So Joyce at the line for 2. He has 15. And all those points are from beyond the arc. And he misses the first, so nothing's changed. So with that, it's back to a 13-point margin. Blues have been super impressive, and it seems with each game they play together, they continue to gel and show the potential they have as Benny Lewis comes off a screen and goes bang! Carter nearly picks off a steal. So close. And the Blues are humming. They're in a similar position on Anzac Day against the Dandenong Rangers before they gave up a 17-point margin in the final quarter to go down, giving up more than 30 points in the final term. Gaff inside to Morrison, who's lost it. Linton comes up with a rebound. Oh, Lewis was looking for a bit of a heat check there. Gets the steal. Goes up against Morrison and makes it. 61-43 advantage. And Carter nearly gets a steal as well. 2 he's nearly had. So the Blues are threatening to blow this one out after coming into this game without a win. The Gunners are in a similar position. They've only played the one game. They went down to Geelong. Their game against Ballarat was called off due to a power failure. As we see another turnover, and it's Garrett leading the break. Big dunk! Sam Muldrow. And it's a 20-point margin in favour of the hometown Frankston RSL Blues. And that had the whole bench up on their feet. Fenwick under all kinds of pressure from Macaulay. Gaff hands off. Gavranich. And that's an interesting call. That looked to be off Gaff, and Gaff was off Walker at the other end. I think they escaped that time. Shot clock's down to 2. 1, got to get it up. Joyce does, but it's off the target. And Macaulay falls over, manages to get it back. So they settle things down. Ross going to work in the paint, turnaround jumper. Lewis picks up a cheap foul, going for another steal. That was actually Moss picking up the foul. And the Gunners throw it away. So the challenge will now be for the Blues to hang on to this lead and finish the game off. Haven't been able to winning a game all season. They gave up a 17-point lead in the last term against the Rangers, as we see Macaulay goes for a dagger 3 ball. And I say dagger because this margin's just threatening to be blown out here. But the Gunners managed to get a stop. Gavranich. Fenwick off target. Gunners get another opportunity. Shot clock under 5. Joyce fires. It was rushed. Dalcon gets fouled by Joyce. So with a 20-point margin, what can Frankston do? Can they finally work towards finishing a game off? Or can the Gunners pull something out of the hat? And we've got an offensive foul call. Kevin Ben moving screen. The scoring's just dried up for both teams. Blues up by 20. It's their biggest lead of the season. Fenwick drops to Alcon. Big rebound by Ben. Garrett turns it over. Fenwick takes advantage. And it's Kay, picks up a cheap foul in the backcourt. So 4 minutes to play. 63-45 in favour of the Blues. Ben, top of the key. Dalcon seeing some minutes tonight. Muldrow. You can't leave Muldrow open from there. I've seen that in the early stages of the season. He's more than prepared to shoot that, and he does so at a very effective clip as we see Joyce get to the rim, sent back by Muldrow. But Dalcon picks up a foul, and Joyce will go to the line. So Garrett will sit out, and Moss comes back in. Moss has been rock solid for the Blues. So former NBL player Daniel Joyce having a big season for the Gunners. His opening game, piling on the points, and he's doing no different tonight. So Joyce is up to 18 points. See Dalcon, hand off to Macaulay. So the Gunners are in a zone. Macaulay inside to Ben. Joyce fouls. Huge size difference. Deciding to foul rather than give up the easy basket. So the Blues have been scintillating from beyond the arc. 8 of 11, 72% from downtown. The Gunners haven't been bad. They've hit 10 of 19, 52%, but been the Blues overall. They've had 10 more shots and shooting 55% from the field overall compared to the Gunners at 44. "15 turnovers by the Gunners hasn't helped them. Morrison inside, out. Allen. Shot clock down to 5. Joyce back to Allen. He's going to have to fire it. Joyce does from deep. Nearly went in. It's chased down by Fenwick. And he gets to the rim and shoots a lovely teardrop over Muldrow. Had to get that one high. So the Gunners just not letting this margin get beyond 20. They've got a hell of a lot of work to do to get back into this game. So Moss at the line. Well, we'll eventually get him at the line. So Allen, who's back on court, of course, the Gunners captain, he's on 4 fouls. But the Gunners are going to have to throw everything at this game if they're to get back in. So back to a 20-point margin. The Gunners need some scoring and they need it fast. Allen to Joyce. Back to Allen. Wide open 3. Front of the iron. Big rebound by Kay. Just came straight into his hands as we see another 3-point attempt go up and out. And this time it falls in McCauley's hands. Muldrow. Oh, so tough to guard. Jumps straight over the top and plops it in. Muldrow has 26. McCauley cuts it off. Can't believe it's been called against him. He thought he had the steal and forced a turnover. But Joyce will inbound for the Gunners, who have certainly been misfiring in the second half. And Allen manages to split the defenders and slides in for 2. But the Gunners, they need to find scoring, because beyond Joyce's 18, Fenwick's next best with 10. And then there's Morrison, who has 6. So McCauley at the stripe for the first time tonight. Makes his first, and it's a 21-point margin. Make that 22 with just under a minute to play in the third quarter. It's all been Blues basketball. Fenwick. Short corner. It's good. McCauley. McCauley for 3. My apologies, it's 2. Just inside. The runner from Joyce off the mark. And it'll be Blues ball. So the Blues, if they choose, can have last shot of the quarter and a chance to put more distance between them and the Gunners. McCauley gets to the rim. Big bucket by Jake McCauley, the captain. Joyce finds Morrison in transition for another buzzer beater, but that'll be three-quarter time, and it's the Frankston RSL Blues leading 77-55 and staring at their first win of the season. So it's all been Blues basketball with that third term opening up a 22-point margin over the visiting Canberra Gunners. 26 points, Sam Muldrow. He's been impressive. 10 of 13 from the field overall. He's 2 of 2 from downtown. A perfect 4 of 4 from the stripe. 3 rebounds, throwing a couple of blocks and a steal, and you've got a pretty big performance from their big import. Benny Lewis has 18, but Aaron Ross 11, and Jake McCauley coming off the bench, the captain. He's hit 3 of 5 from the field. He's got 8 points, 3 assists. And for Canberra, Daniel Joyce had 15 first half points. Well, he only had 3 in the second. If it wasn't for Fenwick's 12 points, they'd be in even more dire trouble. Next best has been Morrison with 8, with 4 of 8 shooting. And they really need to find some scoring outside of Joyce and Fenwick to complement the work that they're doing. Ben Allen's been misfiring. And it's just been a complete performance by the Blues. Very much replicating what they did against the Rangers. But the challenge for them now is, can they finish? Can they find a way how to win? We'll find out over the next 10 minutes in this final quarter of round 4 action for the Blues. It's their last game of the round. For Canberra, they have to back up tomorrow. They're playing against the Melbourne Tigers at the Oakley Recreation Centre at 3 o'clock. So a road trip for Canberra. Quickly turn into a 9-3 season for them. Allen on the wing for 3. Long. Pulled down by Morrison, and they'll reset and reload. Joyce into Allen. Against Ross. This time he gets it to roll. Well, the Gunners are sticking with, well, it looks like they moved to a matchup. Now they're playing matchup zone. Linton, he's going to go it alone, and he scores. So Linton has 5. He's made both his buckets, of course, a big 3 ball in the first half. The Gunners misfire again. Carter with a handoff to Ross. Ross can't hit. Lewis keeps it alive, and that was a kick ball by Garrett. Unfortunate for the Blues because they looked like they were going to gain possession anyway. So Fenwick running the point for the Gunners. He's been very effective. Allen, he'll fire. Oh, nice move by Morrison. Lovely fake out, drop step back in. But it's still a 20-point margin with 8 to play. Oh, Carter mishandles. And Joyce. Fenwick goes baseline. Blocked from behind by Garrett. Foul's called. Garrett's charged with that contact. So apart from Joyce, Fenwick's the only other gunner in double figure scoring. He's got 12. Make that 13. Blues nearly throw that one away. Just some careless passing. Going to Lewis. Lewis, long two. Linton tries to tip in. Ross gets it instead and finishes. The Blues active on the offensive glass. Morrison. Spin move, baseline is good. So Glenn Morrison is into double figures. So Kay picks up his third. Morrison has 3. Allen has 4 fouls. Well, for the Blues, no one's in foul trouble at all, as we see a kick out to Linton. He drives and pulls out. Benny Lewis decides, well, I'm going to hit this 3 ball again. And he does. 21 points now for Benny Lewis. Fenwick wide open. Jared Fenwick hits another 3-pointer. He's come off the bench and hit 3 of 5 from downtown. Aaron Ross drives hard. That was blocked by Morrison, forcing a travel. Morrison's rewarded with a trip to the bench. Gaff comes back on. Joyce, no, picked his pocket. This is going to be a dunk to Lewis. Oh, and a foul. There's some chat going on amongst the players. And we're going to see Lewis to the line for 2. Quite a smart play by Fenwick, preventing the dunk. Making Lewis work for it a little bit harder. Lewis misses the second. He's up to 22 points. It's his first miss from the line tonight. Fenwick drive, handoff to Gaff. Lewis, Muldrow. Swings it to Ross, back to Lewis. Linton, wide open, Reese Carter on the wing. Reese Carter makes it a 23-point ball game. 5:20 to play in the game, and it looks like it's going to be Frankston's first win of the year. We need the sweat, boys. They've done more work in between the quarters than they have during the quarters. And the players woke them up from their slumber. They'll sleep well tonight knowing the Blues have earned their first win of the year. The Blues break up that foray into the paint. Allen, wide to Fenwick. He's been hot. Back of the iron, but he follows his own shot. Allen, top of the key. Big push out by Joyce. Linton boxes out. Joyce tried to get rid of him. And those sweat boys just make us laugh. The Blues leading by 23 points. Under 5 to play. Lewis feigns a three, gets into the paint, hands off for a score! Aaron Ross finishes a great foray into the paint by Lewis. And they've racked up 90 points. Their highest score of the season. And we've still got 4.5 to play as we see Joyce launch from deep. And Ross playing point forward. Advances the ball as we see Lewis. A foul called on Gaff. No. It's Bartholomew. Aaron Ross checks out of the game. Super impressive performance by him. 15 points, 10 rebounds, another double-double. This time the Blues miss from range. They draw some contact. Bartholomew's will fire. Ben gets the rebound and the captain looking to run. Just steadies the ship instead. Muldrow gets to the line. Off target with a one-handed jump hook. They're up by 25 points and they're still working hard as Joyce gets in for the runner. So with just over 3 minutes to play, leading by 23 points as we see a backdoor cut, pass, score. 25-point margin as we have timeout called with 3:06 to play. I've called it. The Blues are going to finally win their first game of the year. They're up 92-67. So it's the Frankston RSL Blues leading the visiting Canberra Gunners 92-67. And after what happened on Wednesday night on Anzac Day, the Blues giving up a 17-point lead in the final quarter. Well, that isn't happening tonight. They've made sure of that. They have avoided a repeat. They're leading 92-67, their highest scoring game of the year. And they're going to come away with a victory. Sam Muldrow, what a game, what a player he is. 26 points, 3 rebounds, throwing a few blocks. And that's just about your player of the game. But Aaron Ross, he's picked up a double-double, 15 points, 11 rebounds. Jake McCauley, he's had a good one too. He's having a great season as captain. He just haven't been able to get the wins on the board to date. Quietly moved up to 8 points and 4 assists. Kevin Ben's going to pick up a foul. But Benny Lewis has exploded tonight too. He's hit 5 of 6 from beyond the arc. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals and 2 blocks. So he's done a bit of everything too, but pair him with Muldrow and Ross and throw in the calming influence of a player like Carter has tonight. McCauley. Pieces are starting to come together for Coach Andrew Harbs. And he rattles in the second. Seeing some extended pressure. So Canberra's moved into a traditional 2-3 zone. And the Blues take advantage with a score at the free throw line extended. Joyce goes into Allen. Joyce back door. That's good. So Joyce is up over 20. He's got 22 in fact to lead the Gunners scoring. So Garrett picks up a turnover courtesy of the offensive foul. Phillips, he can't connect. Dorcon for 3. Fenwick goes into Allen. Size mismatch. Kick out, 3 ball. Diorcon taps that out. So just over a minute to play. 24-point margin in favour of the Blues. They're going to get their first win of the year and cap up a round 4 that really should have had them with 2 wins. They should have come away with a win against the Rangers. They capitulated in that last quarter, but they're going to get 1 here as Garrett just about came away with a clean block, is called for a reach in. Nearly completed a fantastic defensive effort. So Garrett picks up his 4th foul. That's not going to matter. And the Blues, they'll be able to go home winners tonight. So McCauley, top of the key. McCauley for 3. And they're 97-72 and threatening to score 3 figures. 1 3 ball away from the magic 100 as Moss picks up a foul. Oh, what a way to break a duck for the Blues. Piling on the points tonight against the Gunners. He could nearly drop a pin in here. It's nearly like the fans don't know how to celebrate. So Ben with the rebound. Under a minute to play. McCauley. A lot of contact. Can't make it. Allen leads a break. Swings it wide. Fenwick. They throw it into Gaff. He can't make it. Finishes his own mess. Cleans it up. Full court pressure, but it's all too late for the Gunners. Small differential. And it's nearly like the crowd don't know how to celebrate a win. It's gone quiet. Uncharted. Big dunk play nearly by Ben. Can't finish, but the foul's called. That would have been an exciting end to the game. So with these two, he can bring the Blues to 99. If he had have flushed it, a chance to bring up the 100. So for Canberra, they got Melbourne tomorrow. Then they have to back up against the Basketball Australia Centre of Excellence back at the AIS. And then they'll host Bendigo the next day. Well, the Blues, they're back at home against Mount Gambier. Make sure you don't miss that one. And of course, Mount Gambier, what a team they've been over the years. They've got a target firmly on their back with every single club, given their longevity of success. So Ben can't make the back end. And the Gunners pushing the pace. They fight from deep through Joyce. Off target. Garrett with the rebound. That'll be it. The Frankston Blues celebrating their first win of the 2018 SEABL season. They take the Chocolates tonight, 98-74, to break their duck. For the Blues, it was the excellence of Sam Muldrow, 26 points, 9 from the field, 11 rebounds for his double-double. And then Benny Lewis, 24 points. He was 5 of 6 from beyond the arc, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals and 2 blocks. And then Jake McCauley, the captain, 11 points. He also had 5 assists. But for the Gunners, the visitors, 22-point game from Daniel Joyce. Hit 5 of 10 from downtown. All 5 of those came in the first half onslaught. He hit 5 of 7 in the first half. He finished with 4 assists. And the other players in double figures for the Gunners were Fenwick, came off the bench. He had 16, 3 of 6 from downtown with 3 rebounds. Glenn Morrison finished with 12 points. He also had 6 rebounds. And Ben Allen, the captain, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. But it was all Blues. They win their first game of the season thanks to Frankston RSL. Join us next week for when the Blues, the Frankston RSL Blues, host the Mount Gambier Mountaineers.